Good Friday morning, friends. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz. I know I'm a little late. I said 10 a.m., but we're coming up on 10:30, and we have a lot of information to tell you just in from the National Hurricane Center and, of course, the National Weather Service as well. We are tracking Cristobal, that is still a tropical depression. It's nearing the northern portion of the Yucatan as we speak. Expected to move back into the Gulf of Mexico a little later today, and you can see Friday 7 p.m. anticipated to start that strengthening stretch as we head through the next several days. This is the latest track, latest information. Again, still a tropical depression, still set to make landfall in South Louisiana sometime Sunday now. It's looking more likely as though it will be Sunday night sometime. The models were hinting perhaps a little earlier than the previous track anticipated, which was Sunday and into Sunday night and early Monday, but now it's showing more of potentially a Sunday evening landfall. So we'll take it through time a little bit just so you can see the progression. I'll back up there. It's anticipated to gradually intensify. No rapid intensification is expected because it will be battling some wind shear along with some dry air. When we have that dry air, that could wrap around into the storm, that can get sucked into the storm, and that could really change our rainfall totals. As we know, this has happened before, and so it's something we're going to be watching very carefully. But then eventually, thanks to a ridge building to the northeast, it's anticipated to make a north-northwesterly turn. Still forecast, again, South Louisiana, and the cone is much smaller, so it is likely going to make landfall between the mouth of the Mississippi River, perhaps even just south of Lake Charles, but the models have been pretty consistent with potentially near Terrebonne Parish. A landfall there just to the east of the Atchafalaya Bay. And then going forward in time, it will move inland, and this is set around 7 a.m. on Monday. So between Sunday evening, the 12 hours that you see, that time span, that's when we could see it move basically from making landfall to more so central Louisiana, and then it will continue to weaken as it does so, but we'll still be dealing with some impacts most likely. And the spaghetti models have been very consistent with, again, near Terrebonne Parish, and the question is, again, where exactly will it make landfall? Because just to the east and well to the east, and I mean well to the east, you'll notice what I'm talking about in a minute, that's where we'll see the greatest impacts. It could potentially move right over Baton Rouge, could potentially do that. I'm not saying it will. And then the worst of it would be on the North Shore, and we may not even see much in the way of significant impacts. And no, this isn't going to be a significant system by any means, but it is still expected to produce some heavy rain. Just in from the National Hurricane Center, they have now gone ahead and issued some storm surge watches, and you see that pink color. And I'll kind of break this down for you in terms of what these areas could see. No, basically from, let's see, I will break it down for you verbatim from them. Basically from Grand Isle to Ocean Springs, that will be between 2 and 4 feet. That is the inundation expected. As for Ocean Springs to Indian Pass, which will include Mobile Bay and Pensacola Bay, that will be around 1 to 3 feet. There is no specific storm surge watch in effect for that, but they are still saying that dangerous storm surge is expected. And then let's head all the way over to the Florida Big Bend. That's also where we could see some pretty significant storm surge for these areas. And the reason why I say significant, because it could occur during high tide, which is anticipated for Sunday night, or Sunday and into Monday, which could lead to some coastal flooding. So this is tropical storm, potential storm surge for these areas. So a storm surge watch is in effect for those pink colors that you see, which includes for Louisiana, Grand Isle to Ocean Springs. And let's go forward with the tropical storm watches. This means that conditions will be possible within the next 48 hours. Notice this does not include Baton Rouge, West Baton Rouge Parish and East Baton Rouge Parish. or even along the Mississippi and Louisiana state line, our parishes there, and some of the Florida parishes. This could change, yes, but this is the current thinking, and mainly near the coast where we could see some of the strongest wind gusts. And this includes the city of New Orleans and most of southeast Louisiana, including the North Shore. It's included with Terrebonne Parish, where it may actually end up making landfall, Ascension, Assumption, St. James, Points Eastward, Livingston, and southern Tangipahoa Parish, and even St. Tammany Parish. So just a heads up there, and this includes all the way to the Alabama and Florida state line, where tropical storm conditions will be possible within the next 48 hours. And as we get closer, this will be replaced with a tropical storm warning, as that means tropical storm conditions will be likely, more so in the way of tropical storm force winds. When are you asking? Well, this product that you're seeing on your screen right there, this is the tropical storm wind probabilities. That's the colors that you see. Louisiana could see the probability for our immediate area, the BR Proud area. That probability is set between around 30–40%. Closer to the coast and more to the east, that's where we have some higher probabilities, but notice how broad this is. The green stretches all the way from offshore from Texas to the Florida Big Bend, saying that tropical storm force winds could be possible within this large cone that you see. That is because the storm is going to be very unorganized, very asymmetric in nature, and it's just not going to really have its act together, not going to have enough time to get its act together, battling the wind shear and the dry air. And so tropical storm force winds can be felt away from the center. So just a heads up there, even if you're not in a tropical storm watch. Here in Baton Rouge, we could still see some tropical storm force wind gusts perhaps, but the strongest of those would be closer to the coast and to the east and sort of to the northeast of where it makes landfall. As for timing, the most likely timing has been pushed up a few hours. More so Sunday morning, perhaps overnight and into early Sunday morning, and then a little more inland Sunday night. The most or the earliest possible time of some tropical storm force winds, now keep in mind the one I showed you before was likely. The earliest possible time will be late Saturday night. You'll notice the wind will start to pick up a good bit, perhaps again as early as Saturday night, but again most likely to start feeling tropical storm wind, if we do, and those gusty winds as most likely Sunday morning. Let the graphic plot. It's pulling in a lot of data. It's doing a lot of work. There you have it. And that's just showing the most likely timing of these possible tropical storm winds. And again, this is so broad. The blue color that you see, that is the cone of uncertainty. The outline, the black, that is showing where or how far these tropical storm force winds can extend from the center, just to kind of clarify. I'm going to walk you through a few of the models, and the European model, looking ahead at some of the data, and I paused it for a few spots that stuck out to me the most. This is Saturday, and keep in mind this is a data model, this is a model run, one model run that shows, kind of illustrates how the winds may look. This is wind gust, and this is the European model. So just one model run, don't take this as gospel, but this just illustrates the possibility. So running forward in time, Sunday morning, again, these are potential wind gusts around the area. Tropical storm force would be 39 miles per hour or greater. And notice we're not seeing widespread, and it's not going to last for very long. But around the lakes, perhaps you'll see some frequent gusts of tropical storm force as it begins to make landfall and then move to the northwest. So that's just to kind of walk you through that. Our greatest concern here in South Louisiana, and I will continue to stress this, will be heavy rainfall. The rain totals may vary, all depending on your location. Some areas closer to the center of the storm and eastward will likely see the heaviest of rain, but that's not going to say that we won't see heavy rain here, because we'll still have the potential. So it's going to vary, all depending on your location. You'll see what I mean when I show you in a minute. But our potential impacts on the current current track from the National Hurricane Center. 3 to 6 inches on average, widespread. Locally higher amounts exceeding 10 inches will be possible. Wherever we get some of these feeder bands to set up, that will be where we'll see those areas that exceed 10 inches perhaps. The wind sustained, the wind could pick up between 20 and 30 miles per hour, and we could see possible gusts of 35 to 50. Again, that's all depending on your location. The closer you are to the center and eastward, especially well to the east of it, you could see higher wind gusts within that tropical storm watch that I showed you. As for coastal flooding, as I mentioned, coastal flooding, heavy rain, that is really what we're most concerned about at this time. Also inland flooding, some of the creeks and streams may get a little exhausted from some of this heavy rain, especially if some of these feeder bands do end up developing around our area. That's something to keep in mind. But again, with those high tides on Sunday and Monday, this is definitely something to keep an eye out on. So if you live in coastal parishes, coastal areas, we'll likely see some of this because of the persistent southeast and south winds. So that's why that storm surge watch is in effect. 2 to 4 feet. And then again, east of the center, we'll have storm surge. And that includes, again, the Florida Panhandle around 1 to 3 feet. And this is all subject to change, but I can't stress enough that impacts will be felt well away from the center, as this is more of a sloppy system. The flood watch, of course, the flood watch is the green color, which includes all of southeast Louisiana. The pink, that's that tropical storm watch. It's just a higher priority in terms of the list. That's why it's plotting over the green. But we're all under a flood watch until Tuesday morning. Again, as we could see, 3 to 6 inches with some over 10 inches. And here's another look at this is from the Weather Prediction Center, the rainfall estimates through the next 7 days. You see some of the colors mixed in. There are isolated spots that could see over 4 inches, maybe 5 inches, but as a whole, the heaviest of rain should remain to the east, and we'll have those localized spots exceeding 10 inches. It's not going to be widespread flooding all across the state of Louisiana, but if we get caught under some of those rain bands, we could easily see over 10 inches, 10 to 15 inches. That is why the Weather Prediction Center, they have issued a slight risk for excessive rainfall or flash flooding Sunday and into Monday. That's when we'll see the heaviest of rain, most likely. Again, before it makes landfall through at least Monday morning, Monday afternoon. The timing of this may change within the next 24 hours. Once it enters the Gulf, we'll really be able to fine-tune the timing. Also, as I mentioned, possible impacts will be some spin-up tornadoes. This will be a favorable environment when we have some of these feeder bands move ashore. I've seen it happen all the time in Pensacola, Northwest Florida. With these tropical systems, with those rain bands that come ashore, you could easily see a few spin-up tornadoes. You'll likely see some tropical funnels perhaps here and there, but they would be some spin-up brief tornadoes, so there is a marginal risk for spin-up tornadoes Sunday and into Sunday night, perhaps into early Monday morning. As I mentioned, rainfall totals may vary, all depending on your location. This is the futurecast from the European model, just kind of showing the heaviest of rain staying to the east, mainly along and east of I-55. Keep in mind, this is just one model run. You may not see a lot in terms of rainfall between now and then, the more to the west you live. Just a heads up there, but again, it's all dependent on where it tracks. If you're wondering about the GFS, the American model, this is showing some heavy rain pretty much all across South Louisiana, but notice some lower rainfall totals. Again, not gospel, just one model run. So I do want you guys to just prepare for some heavy rain, and I'll run you through our in-house model. This is the RPM. This is what we usually show on air, just your day-to-day. As we head through Saturday, this potentially a few thunderstorms moving into South Louisiana early Saturday morning that could produce some gusty winds, heavy rainfall. That's not associated with Cristobal. But as we head into Saturday, look at what's happening. We're starting to see some rain bands move ashore, and I do think that will be a good possibility. Winds will begin to pick up, and then again we'll be dodging some rain bands Sunday. Here we have it. This is the latest run, so it's showing a possible landfall again far southeast Louisiana near Terrebonne Parish and lifting to the northeast with some of those heavy rain bands setting up where those heaviest rainfall totals are looking to be. Now again, we could see some of the heaviest rain well to the east of the center. In fact, heavy rain is expected pretty much from here all the way to the Big Bend of Florida. Check out some of these potential rainfall totals, all associated with Cristobal. Now this is over the next 7 days, with the majority of it falling between Saturday and into Tuesday. So just a heads up there. So if you are just joining us, I'll break it down for you a little more. As of the timing and potential threats in southeast Louisiana. Saturday during the day, it's likely going to be a bit breezy at times. We'll see some passing showers here and there. Saturday night, we'll see some more rain bands potentially, and I don't mean consistent rain. With any of these feeder bands, these squally, the squally weather, some of the squalls that move ashore, it's rain band, a break, rain band, and then a break. That's how some of these, that's how these systems just generally work. As for Sunday, during the day, again, this timing is subject to change, but I just put as a whole, Sunday and into Sunday night, we'll likely see heavy rain. It'll be windy. Tropical storm conditions are possible within that tropical storm watch, and then we'll likely see a few spin-ups here and there. Not saying we'll have a few tornadoes all across South Louisiana. No, just know that the potential will be there. As for Monday, still some heavy rain. It'll be windy. Winds will begin to die down sometime Monday night. It all depends on how quickly it begins to lift to the northwest. And if you are just joining us here, I'll show you the broad image of the track, so to break it down for you. So not much has changed with the track in itself, and not really with the intensity as well. The timing has changed a little bit, but the timing is subject to change between now and the time it enters the Gulf, which is set to be this evening. As for, if you're wondering, how can I prepare? There's no reason to be scared. Of course, we're here with you every step of the way. I know it's been a stressful year. Just be ready. You can always download our Be Our Proud app. You can get the latest, any push notifications, the updates. I'm going to update the web here momentarily, and I will basically summarize everything I'm talking about. I just am able to analyze some of these graphics and show you all the tools we have which can help us forecast and let you know what to expect. Also, again, the Be Our Proud app, you get weather, you can have the radar, all of these push notifications if any weather alerts are issued. And then I know a lot of folks still wondering about the coronavirus, of course, and then you can find that on our Be Our Proud app and on beourproud.com. We'll have team coverage all in all every step of the way, and keep in mind, again, the impacts will be felt away from the center. So maybe you're taking a trip to the beach in Alabama or Florida this weekend, going to see rough surf, likely going to see those red and double red flags flying at the beaches, still going to see some coastal flooding, heavy rain there, and some wind as well. So just a heads up, I know several people have gone to the beach for this weekend. I know it's not ideal. But going back to the tropical storm watch, this means tropical storm conditions are possible within the next 48 hours. Now all of this information is subject to change, but confidence is growing. It's going to make landfall in South Louisiana sometime Sunday evening perhaps and into early Monday. And again, timing can change, but this means tropical storm conditions will be possible. This will likely be changed to a tropical storm warning within the next, I would say 24 hours or so. And so these areas that you see in pink, that means tropical storm force wind gust will be possible in over 39 miles per hour or greater. So just a heads up there, bring those loose objects indoors, your plants. I brought my plants in, your lawn furniture, anything that you have outdoors that could fly. Just be sure to tie those down. Bring those plants in. Don't forget about your fur babies as well. Don't leave them out in this. Just bring them inside. Give them a safe and quiet place to sleep, because this will likely again be a night situation into early Monday morning. And then have those batteries ready. Charge up those phones, because we will likely see some power outages, more so closer to, I would say, the north and south shore than directly here. So we'll continue to keep you posted with the latest on brproud.com, my Facebook page, the BR Proud Facebook page as well. Chief Meteorologist Jesse Gunkel will be here this afternoon, evening with the latest. We'll have another update from the National Hurricane Center, an intermediate advisory at 1 p.m. and then a new track and a brand new forecast cone, all of that at 4 o'clock and then at 10 o'clock as well. And we'll keep you posted on the website. Again, I will update that as soon as I get off Facebook Live and on brproud.com. But if you have any questions, type below, email me, aruiz@brproud.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer questions. But remember, no need to panic, just be prepared. Again, this is just the beginning of hurricane season. But in the meantime, now is 10:47, and if you find this a little later, just know there may be some new updated information. Until then, we will see you later. Be safe out there.